Hi everyone, I hope that wherever you are, you're having a great day. Now that you have a better understanding on some reasons why it's important to track your expenses and how to do that, let's talk about creating a budget. And if you haven't seen my video on expenses, check that out before. And I'll include the link to that video down in the description box below. So go check that out. Today we'll go over the 4 steps on creating a budget. But before we even get started, you'll have to decide what tool or software you're going to use to first create and then keep track of your budget. Mint is a very popular app that a lot of people use. There's also other apps such as Pocket Guard, Level Money, or You Need a Budget. And then Excel is still widely used for budgeting purposes as well. So do a little bit of research and figure out what works best for you. Once you've decided on what you're going to use, we can get started on creating a budget. So the first step is to set some financial goals, and they can be a whole range of things. Maybe there's a certain percentage of your income that you want to save every month, or it could be a certain dollar amount. Maybe there's some debt that you'd like to pay off, or you want to build up that emergency reserves account. Whatever it is, write it down. You're more likely to stick to your budget if you have some financial goals that you're working towards. The second step is to write down your net income. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, this may be a little bit difficult because you're working on varying income. So what I like to do is stay conservative, take a look at the past year, are there any fluctuations, and then do your best estimate. Like I said, I like to be conservative, so I underestimate my monthly income for budgeting purposes. The third step is to understand that there's 3 different types of expenses, and we're going to write them all down. The first category are your fixed expenses. They're the things that come up on a regular basis, and you're paying the same dollar amount for it each time. They can occur on a daily, weekly, monthly, or annual basis, and include things such as your rent, mortgage, insurance premiums, and any subscription services that you have, such as Netflix, Spotify Premium, or the gym. So write a list of all your fixed expenses with their costs down. The next category are your variable expenses. They're the things that come up on a regular basis, but the actual dollar amount varies and includes things such as your utility bill, gas, groceries, dining out. We spend money in those categories every month, but the actual dollar amount varies. So write a list of all of that down. And for the cost, take the average amount that you spend every month and put that down, or every week. The next category are your periodic expenses. The dollar amount can be fixed or variable, and they don't occur on a regular basis. So some examples of that include your car maintenance. You never really know when that's going to happen. Maybe it happens once a year, and when we take a car in, we're never really charged the same amount. So that's a really good example of a periodic expense. Some other examples include taxes, gifts, clothing, travel expenses. For any of the variable or periodic expenses, if you don't know how much you're spending, I suggest taking a look at the year-end summary that I went over in my previous video on expenses, so that it kind of helps give you an idea on how much you've been spending in the last year on those categories. So now that you have a whole list of your expenses, let's take a look. There's a few questions to ask yourself at this point now that you have a list of your expenses and your net income. Are you spending less than what you're earning? Are you spending way more, or maybe even way less, in one category than you thought you were? And do you have money left over in your budget to put towards those financial goals that you created in step 1? If you're spending less than what you're earning and you have money left over in your budget for your financial goals, then that's great. You found a budget that works for you and you're miles ahead of the curve. If not, let's take a look at your income first. Are you in a situation where you can increase your income? If you're a business owner, maybe that means getting a few more clients to cover your expenses. If there's nothing that you can do, let's take a look at your expenses first and start with your fixed expenses. Are there any categories that you can eliminate? Maybe there's some subscription services that you can downgrade to help you save some money. And then take a look at your variable and periodic expenses. Are there any areas in which you can decrease or eliminate any of these costs? So adjust your budget accordingly, but be real and honest with yourself. And then the last and probably the most important step is to keep track and keep going even if you overspend. It's so easy and tempting to quit and say, I'm going to try again next month. New month, new me. I'm going to give it a shot next month. But it's important to keep going because it creates awareness on what categories that you need to address and change so that you can have a better month next time. And decide how often you're going to keep track of your budget. For me, I've changed from going monthly to weekly check-ins because it's a lot less transactions for me to keep track of in Mint. When I was doing it every month, or when I at least attempted to do it every month, there were just too many transactions. It was very overwhelming. So now that I've switched to weekly, I found it's a lot more manageable. There's much less transactions going on in the week. So figure out what works best for you. So there you have it, 4 steps on how to create a budget. If you have any questions or would like help on creating a budget for yourself, definitely reach out. Let's connect on social media if we aren't already. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.